Hi students, in this video I'll be going through the 2023 O-Level Mathematics Paper 1 question 3. So this is a question regarding the laws of indices. Right, so for part A of the question, we are asked to simplify 2c cubed d squared and the whole thing to the power of 3. Right, so over here on the right, you can see that I've already type out all the laws of indices. So these are the laws of indices that you need to know and you need to be familiar with, right? So that you can apply them appropriately to the question. Right, so for this question for 3A, okay, which law of indices do we need to apply now? Okay, so if you look at the question, okay, so we have a bracket and a cube outside, and inside the bracket we have more than one term, right? Okay, so the law of indices that we will need to apply for this question at the beginning would be law number 4, right? Bracket AB to the power of n, we can open up into A to the power of n times B to the power of n. Right, so this can also apply to if inside the bracket you have more than 2 terms. So in this case, we actually have 3 terms, all right? Okay, so let's write it out. So 2c cubed d squared whole thing to the power of 3. Okay, so if we were to open it up using law number 4, okay, so the 2 will be one term, so 2 cubed. Okay, the c cube will be one term, so c cube cube, all right? The d square will be the third term, so d square cube. Right, so at this stage, we have already applied law number 4. So now you now need to think what are the law you can apply. So over here now inside, okay, 2 cube will just be 8, right? Okay, then over here we have c cube bracket cube. Okay, so now we only have one term inside the bracket. So that would mean that we can apply law number 3. Okay, so when we have one term inside the bracket, okay, inside the term inside the bracket has a power, outside there's a power, you will just open up to a to the power of m times n. So a to the power of m bracket, okay, the whole thing to the power of n will open up to a to the power of n times n. Right, so over here we will have c. Okay, so now in this case m is 3 and n is also 3, so 3 times 3, okay, for the power. Okay, d, okay, so now m is a 2, n is a 3, so 2 times 3. Okay, so this is what we will get. Okay, so we just need to simplify the power. So 3 times 3 will give me 9. 2 times 3 will give me 6. Okay, so this will be the answer for question 3A already. So it will be 8 c to the power of 9 d to the power of 6, right? Okay, let's take a look at part B of the question. Okay, so part B of the question, we are given this equation 16 times 5 to the power of 4 plus 9 times 25 squared equals to 5 to the power of k. Okay, so they specifically ask you to use the laws of indices to find the value of k, and you need to show your working. Okay, okay, so at this point in time, we need to ask ourselves again, which law of indices do we want to apply? Okay, but before we go about doing that, okay, let's try to come up with a plan on how we want to solve this question. Okay, so over here on the left side, we have a few terms, right? Okay, and on the right side, we have just 5 to the power of k. Okay, so one thing about solving a equation involving indices, right, would be to try to make the base the same on both sides. Okay, so on the right side, it's very simple. It's very clear that the base is 5, right? So now our objective here will be to try to somehow transform this whole thing into just 5 to the power of something. Okay, so if we can find 5 to the power of something, then that thing would then be equals to k already. Okay, then we will be able to find what is the value of k. So in this case, we need to transform this whole thing 16 times 5 to the power of 4 plus 9 times 25 square into just one term 5 to the power of something. Right, so let's try to go about doing that. Okay, so over here, plus 9 times 25 square equals to 5 to the power of k, right? Okay, so over here, if you look here, look at the left side, we have 16 times 5 to the power of 4. So already base 5 plus 9 times 25 square. Okay, so over here, 9 times 25 square, we don't have anything in terms of base 5. But can we transform it into something that consists of base 5 now? Because remember, our final objective is to have 5 to the power of something, right? Base 5 to the power of something. Okay, so you should be able to recognize that 25 is actually 5 squared. So this one we can actually change it to this, right? 25 is actually 5 squared. Okay, so we have gotten one step closer already. Okay, then if you apply law number 3 again, okay, then we will have, okay, now I'm going to write out all the steps, so it's going to seem a bit long, okay, but I want you to be clear, okay, of what is going on. Okay, so I apply law number 3, okay, when we open up the bracket, then we will have 5 to the power of 2 times 2, 5 to the power of 4. Okay, so at this point, you need to ask yourself, what can we do to further simplify this? Okay, so this may seem like a complicated expression to you, but it's actually rather simple. Okay, if you think about it this way. Okay, 16 times 5 to the power of 4. Okay, so if we let's say 5 to the power of 4 be a, right? Okay, then over here we will just have 16a. Okay, then over here 9 times 5 to the power of 4. If 5 to the power of 4 is a, it will just be 9a. So over here we have 16a plus 9a, which will actually give us just 25a only. Okay, so from here, okay, we can actually simplify to, okay, so 25a, right? 16a plus 9a is 25a, but now a is 5 to the power of 4. So this whole thing can just change to 25 times 5 to the power of 4. Okay, so equals to 5 to the power of k. Okay, then 25, remember, we want to change everything to base 5, right? 25 will then be 5 squared. Okay, so now at this point, which law do we want to apply? This should be very familiar to you. Same base. Okay, so the two laws that are pertaining to the same base would be 1 and 2. Okay, so same base, when you multiply, now we are multiplying, right? We will actually add the power. So we will have 5, 2 plus 4 equals to 5k. So 5 to the power of 6 equals to 5k. So this means that k will eventually now be 6, alright? So therefore, k equals to 6. Okay? Alright, so for questions regarding law of indices, you definitely need to be very familiar with the laws, okay, in order to solve the question successfully. So this requires you to firstly try basic questions, okay, to apply the law, and then after that, as you get better, you try to progress, okay. But over time, you should be able to do the questions without referring to the laws, okay. So it should be something that is inside your head after a while, right?